Yo, what's up guys? This is Rise and welcome to my first video of 2023 where I wanted to just talk to you guys, give you a recap of my previous year, 2022, and my goals and what I'm looking to accomplish in 2023. My 23 goals of 2023. So first of all, 2022 was a terrific year for me in many facets. I traveled pretty much all over the world. I went to a friend's wedding in Puerto Rico and actually was able to read at their ceremony. Met a bunch of people that I hadn't seen since 2019 when I traveled to Athens, Greece. After that, we went into the summer and I decided to step away from my full-time job periodically to travel to a bunch of play Pokemon tournaments and just try and give this content creation thing a full-time go, seeing if it was something feasible that I could do full-time. And I think it was the right decision because my full-time job, although it was a good job, I didn't see it like necessarily building into something greater in the near future. And I also had a lot of fun with this community. And what do you know, with the more time I was able to prepare, and I ended up winning the Milwaukee Regional in my hometown, which was one of the best moments of not just the year, but really my life, coming back against arguably the best player in the world, Dunebug, and taking him down in the grand finals in my hometown, celebrating with everybody afterwards at my family's place. It was just one of the best days of my life and I'll never forget. Then I ended up going to GoFest and meeting so many of you beautiful people, had a ton of fun, amazing weekend, and I can't wait for the next GoFest. I went to London for the World Championships where I did pretty well. I made day 2. I lost to Lurgan Rocket and to Godon Hada, who ended up finishing 2nd place and 4th place. And I was overall pretty pleased with my performance. Could have played better, but overall was pretty pleased with my performance at Worlds. Then in terms of more Pokemon Go PvP stuff, I got 2nd place in the world for Sylph. And then to the end of this year, I just recently, 2 weeks ago, got 3rd place in the Arlington Regionals in a pretty heartbreaking defeat. Had a rematch against Dunebug. We covered it on the channel. I pretty much had him against the ropes 2-0 up. And then I really messed up in game 3, gave him 1 win. And then he was able to just straight up beat me in games 4 and 5 and then end up winning the whole thing. So in reflection of this year, I realized that a lot of my, I think, goals and priorities had kind of shifted this year with maybe me not particularly realizing it. I realized that I almost was focused on being like the best battler, the very best battler I could be in the world. I was spending a lot of time in these different formats, these different tournaments, trying to prove that like I could be the #1 battler. And I was literally telling people with this new Play Pokemon season, like, this is my goal for 2023. My goal is to get to Worlds, to get to Yokohama, to qualify and try and compete for the World Championship. And I realized that after I lost to Dunebug, I felt just like so depressed for a week because I was so close. I knew I had it, and I just made a mistake in the moment and lost it. And it's like something just slips through your fingertips and you can't stop thinking about it. And I don't use the word depressed like lightly, right? Like, I know this day and age, a lot of people suffer from depression, anxiety. I don't personally think I have any of that. I think I was more so just feeling depressed. I was feeling the emotion of being depressed. I got over it after about a week, but I realized, like, do I really want winning or losing in this game to dictate my happiness? Because if we think about it, right, like, I've accomplished this year about as much as I could ask for, right? I won the Milwaukee Regionals. I was like a Sylph Factions All-Star in my first cycle of Emerald. I was 2nd place. I was the runner-up for the Sylph World Championship. Like, I made day 2 at Worlds, top 10 in the world for the Play Pokemon World Championship. Like, there's not a whole lot I could ask for to do better. And if I'm like punishing myself for my misplays and like squandered opportunities at more than I'm like feeling joy for my wins, like, that's not healthy. And maybe that's just the competitor spirit, but it makes me want to recenter my priorities and my goals about what I can control in my life to make me happy versus things that are sort of out of my control. And you can argue, right, with PvP, it's mostly in my control, right? I was the one that made the misplay, but I didn't make the misplay. But like, in my opinion, I don't even know if that's in my control or out of my control because like I'm making a read, right? I'm making a read, and whatever read I make in that moment, like who knows what that read is gonna be, and I made the wrong one. So although part of it is definitely in my control with winning Pokemon games, part of it's still out of my control, and I don't want my happiness to be dictated by what I accomplish as a battler. And that's why I have developed a list of 23 goals for 2023, and I'm gonna share with you what my #1 priority is gonna be for this coming year. So I have 23 goals for 2023, and I've separated them into 3 separate categories. And the first one, which is gonna be my #1 goal, my #1 priority for this year, the first category is my fitness. Now, some of you guys probably have, well, most of you have probably noticed this new background as opposed to my office. But some of you OGs may recognize this background as what I made my videos with when I first started making Pokemon videos about 2.5, 3 years ago. So this is the kitchen background, and if you rewind to just under 3 years ago and you take a look at Rise back when he was making those videos, you probably notice a huge change. And the reality that I have to face is that I've really let myself go physically. I've gained a lot of weight over the past nearly 3 years, like over 50 pounds, to be honest, over 50 pounds, which is just not something I've been really happy with myself about. And like I talked about earlier in the video, I'm not someone that necessarily is in a bad place in terms of like my mental health. I like the person I am. I like who I am in terms of my character, in terms of what I've accomplished, but I'm not happy with where I am physically. And I think my mental health is closely intertwined with my physical health. And right now, I'm just not happy with my physical health. I'm someone that most of my life, my identity was an athlete. I played basketball, I did martial arts, I did American football growing up. I won tournaments with my teammates. We were a good team. I traveled, I did AAU basketball. In college, I played intramurals and club basketball. When I went to Greece, I joined the actual basketball team at the college I was studying at. I've always been an athlete, and since I graduated college in 2020 and then COVID hit, and I started working a desk job where I was on my butt for 8 hours a day, and then I was working on the channel and I was on my butt for another like 4 to 6 hours a day editing and streaming, I started to build bad habits. And after those long days of sitting, like you're kind of drained and you don't have the energy to go work out. And before I knew it, I had developed these bad habits, not eating right, like ordering DoorDash too much, which there's no excuse for if you're someone that's like trying to lose weight or stay in shape, and just not exercising nearly as much as I used to. In college, I would go to the gym and play basketball pretty much every day. I'd go and lift weights like every other day. And my daily calorie expenditure has just been so minimal over the past couple of years. And I think part of it is because I live by myself now. And I'm someone that's fluctuated in weight throughout my whole life. I was an athlete growing up, but whenever I would get injured, I remember breaking my elbow in 8th grade. I remember breaking my ankle when I was a junior in high school, and I tore my ACL when I was a junior in college. All those times when I got injured, I would gain a ton of weight. You didn't adjust my diet for my calorie expenditure, because if you're playing basketball for hours a day, that's a lot of calories you're burning, and you're staying in shape, and you can kind of get away with whatever you want to eat. However, it wasn't until my junior year when I realized, okay, like I really got to take nutrition seriously. And that's what I did. And I really tracked my calories, and I ate very nutritious foods, pretty much like one ingredient stuff: meat, fish, eggs, fruits, vegetables. And it helped me lose a lot of weight. But for some reason, over the past 2 years, even when I've seen myself put on weight, I've checked the scale and I'm like, oh crap, I've gained this much weight in this amount of time. How did I let that happen? Even when I've seen it going up and up, I haven't made the change. And I've said I would make the change. I've said it on stream before, like I really got to lose weight. I was aware of this. And for some reason, once upon a time, when I saw I was going in the wrong direction, I would immediately make the change before I let myself get overboard. But in my opinion, I've let myself get overboard, because if you look at pictures of me from even just 3 years ago, I look like almost a different person. Well, maybe that's going overboard, but for me personally, and you know what's a little bit funny is I think I had body dysmorphia, to be honest, when I was in college, because I thought there were times I remember in college, like feeling like I was fat, and I look back at how I looked then and I'm like, oh my God, like, dude, I was in pretty good shape. Like, I would love to be at that weight right now. So I think I definitely suffered from like body dysmorphia, because there were times I perceived myself as fat, and my mom and my sister would like tell me like, Chris, like, you're not fat. Now I actually am, which is objective based on my weight. So mom, sis, even if you want to make me feel good, I definitely am overweight at the moment and need to make a journey. Quickly, before I get into my goals, one reason why I'm making this video, I said there's two main reasons. The first reason is for myself, to hold myself accountable, because this is something that's affected my happiness levels, whether it's a plethora of things. My wardrobe, I wear a 2XL now compared to being like a large or an XL when I was in better shape. My endurance, like, I'm reluctant to go play basketball now because I'm heavier and I know I don't have the same cardio levels, and I feel like I'm at greater risk of injury as someone that's been injury prone in the past because I'm carrying more weight. It's more impact on my joints. So it's like affecting my interest to play basketball when that's something I love to do. Confidence, right? That's a huge thing. I'm someone that's a walking anecdote, a walking experience of how physical fitness can impact your confidence and your personal life. Because right, I'm someone that's fluctuated with it at different points through my life. So I've had points where I was overweight, and tell me if I'm if I'm getting like too personal, but like, I remember my junior year of high school when I gained some weight, like there were girls that didn't bat an eye, or probably I felt like didn't notice me. And those same girls, when I was a senior and I went from like 240 to 205, and once again, I'm 6'4", 193 centimeters in the metric system. I'm a tall guy, and 205 for me is like a pretty lean weight. When I got to like good shape, the same girls that hadn't batted an eye at me the year before were suddenly like in my DMs, like, hey, Chris, like, want to study together for the physics test? So although like there's this huge movement, right, with body positivity, and I agree to some extent, like everyone should be respected and treated like a human being no matter what their body is. To not address the elephant in the room, that it's fine to be overweight, like it's just not healthy, right? Losing weight and striving to be physically fit is something that everyone should strive to do. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy. It's definitely not. Look at me. I've struggled with it for a lot of my life, but it's something that we should all strive to do. And we shouldn't justify like overeating and like obesity, because it's a serious health issue. It's pretty much an epidemic in the United States right now, and it's something that we should help people, right? We should help people that are trying to get fit and lose weight, rather than saying it's perfectly fine, you don't need to lose any weight. So with that said, I have 23 goals for 2023. And like I mentioned, the first category is going to be my fitness goals. So goal number one is to average 10,000 steps per day. This is a pretty common theme in the active fitness community, getting your 10,000 steps per day. That's a lot of calories, probably about 500 calories for someone my size. Takes like a little over an hour and a half to do. And I want to average it per day rather than say I'm going to do it every day, because if I happen to miss a day, if something comes up, I want to make for damn sure I get in 20,000 steps the next day, or however I need to average it out. Goal number two, I want to burn at least 500 calories per day via exercise. So that's in addition to my 10,000 steps. I want to burn 500 calories, whether that's lifting at the gym, kickboxing, basketball, jump rope, or a combination of those. I want to make sure I get in 500 calories of exercise. Number three, I want to track my calories every day. This is something that isn't for everybody, right? This is something that maybe is more of a stressor to you if you're tracking your calories and feels like restrictive. For me, I think it's necessary, because one reason to my weight gain, and I'm not making excuses, it's my own fault, but there is a popular chain near me, Quick Trip with a K. Quick Trip with a Q, get out of here. You're not a real thing. You're a fake, an imposter. Quick Trip with a K, popular chain here in Wisconsin. There's like 10 within 30 minutes of my house, and they all have like terrific hot and ready food to serve that you can just stop in, grab a food, grab a snack, and be on your way. And I had a bad habit of going there for food because there's a few right down the road. And just last week, I stopped in one because I was out and about and I was pretty hungry, and I was tracking my calories. And I've been tracking my calories since like November 30th, and I've lost 12 pounds in the last month. So I've gotten a bit of a head start on this new year, just tracking my calories. And I'm limiting it to 2,700 per day, which may seem like a lot, but once again, I'm a big dude, and I've lost 12 pounds simply by tracking, staying under 2,700 calories per day, and by exercising more. Goal number 4 is my weight loss goal in terms of my numbers. I don't want to get too caught up in the numbers because overall it should be about your health, your fitness, what you can do, and you don't want to get too caught up in the numbers. But for me, I'm almost embarrassed to say what I've let myself get up to, but I'm closer to 300 pounds than I am to 250 pounds, which is just not healthy. There's very few heights where someone could be at my current weight where they'd actually be healthy. So I want to get to under 240 pounds by June 1st. And the reason for this is because that's about 5 months into the year. And I feel like it would really set me up well to really kick butt for the second half of the year. If I can get to myself to under 240, which for me is like fairly good shape. That's like, I can remember being 238 and taking my shirt off at the beach and like being comfortable, versus the latter half of the year when like, maybe I just have to start to decrease my calories, increase my workload. I feel like if I can really kick butt in the first half of the year, get myself to under 240, it'll set me up really well to accomplish a lot of my subsequent goals in the second half of the year. And one of those goals is to get to 205 by the end of the year. I think 205 is pushing it. I think that's gonna be tough for me to achieve because the lowest I can remember being since high school is like 198. 198 is the lowest I can remember being. And I've definitely put on muscle since then. I didn't have a ton of muscle in high school because I've lifted a lot of weights in college. But I think 205 is attainable, and I'll get to that later on. Goal number 5 starts some more fitness goals. I want to be able to do 50 push-ups and 10 pull-ups. In my prime, I think I could do maybe like 43 push-ups, might have been like my PR, and 14 pull-ups I think was my PR. So if I could get back to about where I was and do that, I think I'd be great. I'm at the point where I've put on so much weight that I can only muster maybe a couple pull-ups, if that, and I can probably do about like 20 push-ups, and that's just not good enough in my opinion. Once again, as someone that was an athlete for most of his life, I want to get back to where I was. Goal number 6 is I want to be able to dunk a basketball again. I was a basketball player growing up. The first time I dunked was the summer going into my senior year of high school. And once again, that's also when I lost a bunch of weight after I had broken my ankle the previous year. So that was the first time I dunked. I definitely improved my vertical in college simply by jump roping and by just practicing more. An underrated, off topic, but if you're someone watching this that's like a basketball player that's trying to learn how to dunk or increase your vertical, an underrated way to do that is by just keep jumping, keep practicing dunking. Even if you're not close and you can just barely grab rim, just like keep jumping, like schedule some jump sessions for every day and it'll certainly help. Goal number 7 is I want to join a basketball league before the end of the year. And that's one reason I touched on like achieving a certain weight by June 1st, because I feel like this is one of my latter half of the year goals where once I get back in shape, I can really join a basketball league and have fun. And that's something I've also thought about because like, should I join a basketball league to help me get back in shape, or should I like get back in shape and then once I'm in shape, join a basketball league? I'm leaning towards the latter just because in my family, we all have been fairly injury prone. And I feel like to protect myself from injury or any setbacks, I'd rather wait till I feel like I'm in good shape, or at least much better shape, to join a basketball league. Goal number 8, I want to bench press my body weight, squat 1.5 times my body weight, and deadlift 2 times my body weight. I think this is very achievable with my weight loss as long as I maintain strength. Currently, I think my numbers, I haven't tested them in a couple months, but I think I can bench max around 235. I can squat like 315, and I can deadlift like maybe 335 to 355. So yeah, so as long as I can lose weight and maintain my strength, I guess my deadlifts would have to get a little bit higher, but I want to achieve those weightlifting numbers and increase my strength on those big 3 lifts. Here's goal number 9. I never want to go a week without losing weight. This is something I actually saw from TikTok of a guy who's lost like 200 pounds and had struggled with it for decades. And he made himself a goal that not only did he want to lose weight, but another goal was to keep weight off. So let's say he went 5 days and didn't drop a single pound, but he also didn't gain a single pound. And that's something to also be proud of. He didn't binge eat and put on a bunch of weight. And that's something that myself and a bunch of others tend to struggle with weight loss, is like you are super disciplined for a week and then you go out on the weekend and you binge and you gain it all back and you just undid an entire week's worth of work in a day. So that's gonna be one of my goals. I never wanna go a week without losing weight. So even if I go 3 days and I haven't seen the scale move, I wanna make sure from Monday to Monday that the scale goes down somewhat, because then I'm making progress, and it also will discourage me from having like a big cheat day or a cheat meal, which just isn't really necessary. Goal number 10 is I want to complete the 75 hard challenge. This is something I've attempted this past year that I failed after like 11 days, and then after like 7 days, and then after 3 days, because you shouldn't attempt a really difficult challenge when you're in like the worst shape you've been in, or you have been lacking a ton of discipline, unless you're like David Goggins' character and you just flip a switch and make that change. I was like trying to okay, like if I just do this 75 consecutive days of being disciplined, I'll be on the right path. And then I failed. I'm like, oh no, I failed. I can't do it. So I want to do 75 hard at some point after I've built some good habits. If you're unfamiliar with 75 hard, briefly, it's 2 workouts a day of 45 minutes each, 1 being outside, gallon of water a day, read 10 pages in a book every day, no cheat meals, no alcohol, and follow a diet. I think that's it. Goal number 11, my last major fitness goal, and this might be the most unattainable, the most out there, but I want to see some sort of ab definition by the end of the year. I don't know if this is feasible. I'm aware of how hard and difficult this is to achieve, especially someone like myself that has a long way to go. And also, even at my fittest in my life, when I was 198 pounds, I don't remember ever in my life seeing ab definition. So if this was something I could achieve, this would be something I'd be pretty proud of. And although it seems like superficial, right? It's like the way you look. I don't know, man. For me, it's also an indicator of your health, of how lean you are, and confidence, right? Self-confidence. So although it might seem like a superficial goal, and although I know it's one that might be the most hard to attain on my list of goals, I want to give it a shot and give it everything I have. And that in my mind is like an end of the year thing that I could potentially achieve, might help me stay disciplined for a lot of these other goals that I have for the entire year of 2023. Now we move on to a separate category of my YouTube channel and business goals. So for my business now full time, I actually do YouTube, Twitch, and coaching pretty much is where I get my 3 sources of revenue. I also get revenue from sponsors from time to time. And I really, in September, was the first month where we had a big month. We had over 1 million views on YouTube. And that was the first month where I saw enough revenue where I was like, whoa, like if I could make this every month from the channel, like I'd be set. Like this would be my future. That's where I'm at, is trying to get like to a consistent place where I could have a September, every single month or even beyond that. So for my YouTube goals, goal number 12 of 2023, get to 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. I think this is pretty achievable with some hard work, and I have some goals after this that are gonna help me get there. Goal number 13, 15,000 followers on Twitch. We're currently about 12,000, and I think this is another attainable goal just with some hard work and consistent streams. Number 14, publish at least 365 full-length YouTube videos. So that's my normal type of content. Publish at least 365 videos, and that's gonna keep me at an average of 1 per day and keep me consistent and honest, because when people have a video that they can look at around the same time every day, or when they know someone's gonna upload every single day, they get into the habit and that becomes their daily routine of watching them every day. And if I'm taking 3 days off or 4 days off from posting, that's not good for me. It's not good for the viewer, and it's not good for the future of my channel. So I want to keep myself consistent, average 1 video per day for the entire year. So that way, if I miss a day, I can upload 2, or maybe I can shoot for 2 a day. And that way, like if I miss a day, it's not the end of the world, and I don't have to think I'm a failure because I'm still above my average. Goal number 15, publish at least 365 YouTube shorts in 2023. Shorts don't take quite as much time to edit since they're under 60 seconds. And also I've heard in January that YouTube's gonna increase the monetization on shorts, which is definitely an incentive as well, because now they do a good job of getting in views, they bring in traffic to the channel, but they don't really make any money. Goal 16, go live on Twitch at least 200 times. I thought about this number a bit. At first I had it at 300 and I was like, you know, that's probably a little bit unfeasible because I'm gonna be traveling quite a bit as well this year. And I want to make it at least 200 streams. That puts me at an average of about 4 streams per week. And that will allow me to transition into my next goal, goal number 17, which is get a consistent stream schedule. So you heard it here first. Consistent stream schedule for Rise is gonna be Monday through Thursday at 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if I wanna stream on Friday or Saturday or Sunday, I will as well. Those will just be bonus streams, but I'm gonna do Monday through Thursday, 2:30 p.m. Central Time as my consistent stream time for the year 2023. Goal number 18 is I wanna publish at least 6 vlogs or IRL type videos in 2023. I've done a few this past year. I did Indianapolis, I did Vancouver, and I thought they turned out pretty well. I thought they were pretty well done. I enjoyed the process and the vlogging aspect of it in the community. And I also wanna branch out, right? Because if we think about the biggest creators in Pokemon, or Pokemon Go rather, it's mostly the IRL vlog type creators like Zoe Two Dots, Trainer Tips, and Mystic7. And I just wanna branch out to that audience as well, even a little bit. I'm more passionate about PvP than I am about like raiding or catching, but I also am passionate about like content creation and vlogging and storytelling. And I feel like I can do that pretty well. And I wanna branch out to that side of it either. And also just test myself, right? Push myself by creating new types of content and not just falling into the comfortable same format every single day for the entire year. For my third and final category, it's gonna be personal lifestyle type goals. And I have 5 goals left. So for the remaining 5 goals, here's goal number 19, bold it, make the announcement. I have the goal of traveling to Yokohama for the 2023 Pokemon World Championships. And notice I say the word travel. I didn't say qualify, I didn't say compete, because if that happens, it'll happen. And don't get me wrong, I'm still gonna put in the prep. I'm gonna try my best to qualify, and hopefully I can. I have confidence in myself as a battler. I think it's very possible for me to do so, but I don't necessarily know if it's probable. I don't know if it's likely. I think I have as good of a chance as anybody, but who knows if those pieces will fall into place. So I'm gonna control what I can control. I'm gonna prepare, I'm gonna scrim, I'm gonna give it my best shot. But if I'm not able to qualify, I don't wanna put the pressure on myself that that's the end of the world. Because I know who I am as a battler, I know who I am as a person, and I've always wanted to go to Japan, and I don't want it to be an excuse like, oh, I didn't qualify, so I can't go. I want to go, man. I want to go, and hopefully I can qualify there as a competitor. That'd be ideal, but I'm gonna go there. Even if I don't qualify, I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna meet a ton of people. I'm gonna vlog and make a great video out of it and have a few weeks of fun while I'm over there. So book it, dude. I'm going to Yokohama for the 2023 Pokemon World Championships. As a competitor, will remain to be seen, but I will be there for sure, guaranteed, as a content creator. Goal number 20, this is something that may seem kind of wimpy to a lot of you book readers out there, but I wanna read at least 4 books. I know some of you probably read like a book a day, or maybe that's exaggerating, but like a book a week. And I cannot tell you the last time I've read a book cover to cover, and I'm not proud of that fact, but it's something that I want to get into, whether it's just 10 pages a day. I want to read 4 books. I've already got them picked out for this year. I just think it's a really helpful thing to your mind, like to think about other people's perspectives, to learn new information. So I want to read 4 books this year. Goal number 21, I want to give meditation a try every day for a month. I've never really meditated before. Maybe I've like sort of done it, but I remember before big sports games that I had, I would like on the bus ride there, I was just trying to like visualize like me succeeding, me knocking down my shots, me playing good defense. But I want to give meditation a try every day for a month. I saw a YouTuber who's actually also from Wisconsin, like Wheezy Waiter. I just discovered his channel, and he does like meditation where he just like thinks in the morning like how lucky he is to be here, how not the chances of you and me being on this earth are very slim, and how he just wants to seize every moment, seize every day as a new opportunity to be a better version of himself. And I think that's a great thing to just try and think about. And if you really like think about that, I think that I could see how that would play a big impact in your day and your productivity. These last two goals are personal goals that revolve around diet. And I want to say like diet isn't, everyone's different for what works for them. These are two things that I've sort of had success with in the past that I want to incorporate back into my routine. But once again, I don't recommend this for everybody because there's a lot of conflicting information on diets in like the fitness space. Like some people say like, stay away from carbs, they're terrible. Some people say like, you need carbs. If you don't have carbs, everything will go haywire. So once again, like carbs aren't the enemy in my opinion, calories are. But I also am someone that feels better when I do cut out carbs. So for me personally, I don't like carbs, but I understand for a lot of people, they like feel a lot better when they have carbs. So goal number 22 is to try the carnivore diet for a month, which is a strictly all meat diet. I'll probably do eggs as well in there. But I'm someone that when I've cut out carbs in the past, I felt super good. My energy levels have been really steady and I felt more clear-headed. Like I felt present, right? I felt more present like in school, which is when I tried it when I was in college. And I want to give it another try because I definitely haven't done anything close to that for any sustained period of time. And there's a lot of anecdotal evidence of the carnivore diet. A lot of people that have lost significant weight, where their epilepsy has been cured, where their autoimmune disorders symptoms have been completely gone, vanquished. So there's a lot of anecdotal evidence around it. I don't know if there's a lot of scientific studies around it, but I'm someone when I've cut out carbs, it's been really beneficial for me. And I'm gonna give it a try for 1 month this year. I'm gonna do the carnivore diet. My last goal of 2023 is another basic goal. Maybe I should have structured these differently and saved like Yokohama for last so I could like drop the mic. But my last goal is I wanna fast for at least 3 days every month. Fasting for me in the past has been a great tool for losing weight. I even did alternate day fasting for a long time in college, which was like I would pretty much eat a ton on a certain day and then I would just not eat the next day. I would alternate days I was fasting, and it really, I enjoyed it because it gave your body time to like process all that food, and then it was just like a big time saver. I felt super productive on fast days, and you would think like, oh, like I couldn't think or do anything because I'd be thinking about food all day. But you get used to it and it's like, yeah, this is my fast day. Like I don't have to worry about getting food today. And your body adjusts. And there's kind of this misconception, like if you don't eat every 4 hours, your metabolism will shut down and everything will become fat. But no, I think studies suggest it's really only like after 72 hours, if you don't eat, that's like when that sort of starvation mode starts to happen. But overall, I think fasting is a great tool. It also results in something called autophagy, which is like the breakdown of cells and then you generate new cells. So there's a lot of benefits to fasting. If you're someone that's already like fit or in good shape or don't need to lose any weight, like you probably don't need to fast. But for someone like me that wants to lose a significant amount of weight, feels like he needs to lose a significant amount of weight in this coming year, I think it's a good goal for me to have. Once again, the two reasons I was making this video was one, for you guys to hold me accountable. I want you to comment in my videos, whether it's like Pokemon related, well, most of them are gonna be Pokemon Go, PvP, like Rise, how's the weight loss going? Rise, how you doing? How's the diet going? You sticking to your goals? Like how's this goal coming? I want you guys to hold me accountable for making this video because I haven't been disciplined enough to hold myself accountable for the past 2 years where I've put on this weight and I've let myself get really out of shape. So that's something I want you guys, your guys' help. Rather than me hiring a fitness trainer or a coach, I want your guys' help of keeping me accountable because ultimately you can get as much help as you want, but it comes down to you. I might have mentioned it earlier in the video, like me living alone the past couple of years, I haven't had like the roommate or the family to like help me with this goal per se. It's been all on me, but everything in life is kind of all on you, right? Like you're the controller of your own body, you make your own decisions. And with your guys' help, you guys can be my supporters, hopefully, through this journey of this weight loss fitness journey for this year. And the second reason I made the video is because I'm sure somebody watching this video has been through a similar experience or is currently going through a similar experience where they're not happy with their weight or the way they look or their fitness level, and they're looking for someone that they can relate to give them that motivation, and just to talk about it, right? Like it's not something that only you are going through or only I'm going through. A lot of people have the same struggle. Obesity is an epidemic in the US, right? Is it like 30% of people are obese right now or something like that? Maybe it's more, which is just really bad for like our nutritional education and all sorts of things. So anyway, I hope this video could inspire at least one of you to come along this journey with me. And if that's the case, if this video helps one person, that's a success in itself, because it is hard, right? It's hard for me to talk about like my struggles. I've gained all this weight. I'm not proud of it. It's embarrassing, but it's something I want to address and it's something I want to get back to. Maybe I put some pictures of like former in shape Rise. So I want to get back to like this Rise and not like this Rise. But we all want to be the best versions of ourselves. I thank you guys for your support on my journey in Pokemon Go, and I hope you can come along with me for this journey as well. Content's gonna stay the same for the most part. I don't anticipate myself doing a ton of like fitness video updates until like maybe later in the year. I want to, who knows? Because I heard a quote recently, I'm gonna butcher it, but it's like talking about doing something and actually doing it require the same resources. Allocate wisely. And basically all that's saying is, if you say you're gonna do something, like that's requiring a certain amount of energy from you rather than actually just like doing it requires the same energy as well. So I'm not gonna focus on telling everybody what I'm doing. I'm making this video and then I'm gonna try and do it, man. And we'll see how it goes. I thank you guys for watching this. It's a long video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new, comment down below. All that said, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.